In your medicine closet.
Good morning, Charlene.
Good morning.
Ready, waiting. I'm just pressing these buttons and letting everybody in. I'm not sure as everybody's in.
I'm doing the same.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. I'll let you do it then. Okay.
Names I don't recognize.
Yeah, well, I guess this is probably a friend of a friend of a friend.
We need all the friends we can get right now.
Yeah, well, it's an open meeting anyway, this is it's an open forum. It's a state government function plus Office of Indian Education function. So like I said, it's the more the merrier. Hey, yeah, Dave, Ben and Walter.
Oh, yeah.
Clara. Ja, Dave, Ben.
Oh, yeah, Ben. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right.
You'll be on pretty soon. Then we'll really hear you.
Okay.
Oh. Just as a reminder, this meeting will be recorded.
Renee, can you send
Yes.
Clayton Long the Zoom information?
Certainly. Certainly. You'll have to let people in for a minute.
Okay.
He should have been on the list.
He is on the list, but
Yeah. Because I just resent him out.
Yeah, I saw that. And I guess everybody has the agenda. I think that all the information that we're going to go over today has been sent out. I like to stay close to the agenda. I think, putting this whole agenda together, it has the sequence, and some of the sequence, it jumps back and forth. So.
Okay, it's sent to Clayton.
Morning, David.
Morning.
Melissa T. Yeah. Clayton. Yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Foster.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's Friday and I'm excited.
Yes, we love Fridays.
We do, don't we? Yeah.
We got a robber over here.
Oh, yeah, I see Lorny. Yep.
Walter's there from
He,
Sacred
he
Circle.
must be in a crowded space. As soon as Clayton comes in, we'll get started because I asked him to do the prayer for us this morning. And I believe that everybody has all the information that we're going to go over today. And again, I'm just going to go through the agenda process. We're going to go through the Title VI programs and updates and things, information that we need to know. This is going to be basically it's going to set the stage for the rest of the year. Soon after that, we'll have Walter Watchman from the Health Access Programs to give his updates on what he's doing and some of the information that he could give to us as we relate to our families. And the last piece is that the Urban Indian Center, as well as the Stephanie Raleigh from the Go Shoot, an update on the language class that's being offered, which is really, really exciting because I think that this is way overdue for all the tribes in Utah. Presently we only have 2 official classes in Utah that offer grades for high school kids, middle school, high school kids, and a recognition for the primary kids. That's the Ute and the Navajo language. And bringing on another language, that's for me, that's really, really exciting because I think that's way overdue, And I'm pretty sure that a lot of the other tribes would like to see the same thing. So we're basically following the protocol of what the Navajos put in place. That's the Zoom meetings and the certified instructor, the curriculum development, and getting the days and times all coordinated. So those, that has to take a little bit of effort on everybody's part. So I thank everybody for that. So, did you see Clayton come on?
It is exciting, Dr. Foster. Thank you.
Yes, it is. I'm really excited about that.
I did not see him come on yet.
Yeah.
And I double checked my sent and it went to him.
Yeah.
One of my grandnieces at attending Blue Peak Online last year, she was learning Navajo because, of course, our language wasn't available, and she liked it.
Yeah. It's really nice that they do have an interest. When they do have that interest, things really it really takes off. So it's I think the interest for the Go Shoot tribe, especially those students wanting that language piece being taught.
Yeah, because that's what she said. She told her mom, well, too bad our language, wasn't on there. She says, but instead of French or Spanish, she says, I'm going to take Navajo.
Yeah.
But we're proud of her,
Yeah, it's. Okay, we're still waiting. This is really, really Indian time, huh?
We all know that.
trying to graduate from the Indian time, you know, sometimes
I
it's
know, me
hard.
too.
Chuck, if it makes you feel any better, I'm also under the Mexican Standard Time too. So
Yeah, that's great. You know, we gotta always incorporate the cultural piece, you know?
this is how it is.
Yeah, you know, so I think after that, everybody feels really comfortable, you know, so we'll try to make this experience as comfortable as possible. Okay, I think this might be, no, that's not, I thought it was Clayton. Oh, Eileen, good morning. Yeah, Dave, been Eileen.
Yeah, Ted.
We're going to start in a few minutes as soon as Clayton comes on, because I did ask him for a prayer for us this morning, you know, to starting out the new year. And I think we've all gone through some, I don't know, I guess challenges, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, this
I
past year
can
was
go
very
reach out to
challenging.
him to let him know that we're starting.
Yeah, let me text him again. Renee, he says that nothing's come through.
It's C Long at
No,
San
it's
Juan
Clayton.
School
No,
District,
it's
right?
Clayton. It's Clayton Naz at gmail.com.
Oh, see, I'm doing his San Juan one.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, we're doing okay.
Okay, give me this again, Chuck. Clayton what?
It's let's see here. It's Clayton Naz at gmail.com.
Okay, but can you spell Naz?
Yeah, Nez
N-E-Z?
at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, just to give us a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. We'll go through the program again, and I think everybody basically has everybody has the agenda. And so what we're going to do again, we're just going to follow the agenda. I just like to thank you guys for your attendance and apologies for being a little late.
Yeah, I don't have that email of his, so I wouldn't have sent it to that.
Yeah.
He should be here anytime though.
Yeah.
What's the Wilson?
What's that?
What's the Wilson?
Someone.
I asked Clayton. Let's see here.
There he is.
Okay. Oh yeah, hey Clayton.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your quick response.
I'm sorry, Clayton, I didn't have that email.
Well, it worked. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah. Well, it's a good Friday. It's a good day. It's the end of the week. We've gone through this whole process throughout the week, and you know, all last month we started school. The education process has begun. Kids are, you know, students are back in school in most of the areas in Utah, and I think being behind the 8 ball because of the pandemic has really brought out a lot of challenges. So with that, I'm going to ask Clayton. Now, for those people who are new, this Title VI program is sponsored by the Utah State Board of Education and the Office of Indian Education. Because the Title VI program is an American Indian Alaska Native program, we like to take the approach of being in a traditional sense, if you will, the protocols. When we do have a large gathering put together like this, oftentimes we ask someone from the audience, or it may be volunteered, to offer a prayer. Anytime that you go to a large gathering with American Indian folks, you'll also find that protocol. A prayer will basically set the stage for what the program or what the agenda is going to be about. And in this case, you know, we're always mindful of the safety of our children, you know, the development, growth of our school system, and to be safe all the way around with, you know, the families, the children, the teachers, the school building, the buses, you know, all the support staff. You know, that is, in my mind, those are the approaches that we have. And again, this, you know, the prayer that's going to be offered, you know, that's going to be left up to Clayton as to what, how he's being moved. So Clayton,
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm honored to be able to help out in any way possible. And today we were able to give thanks and also to ask for help in all areas of education, particularly to our children and to our teachers and to our administrators. Yeah. So I'll start off in Navajo and then I'll share some thoughts in English. Ni tran li ni di en guardian so hun loning. A he la da sijuro. Ni kitchen lead he can eat a koi chen he. With a bema na la hoi ni go ni hits is ni hin ni j arts and ben kidden e he. Ado mo all tragic on nishi ko ago trandel nish he. But na ha agi ko. Ado di chin ko he kragi he. What ashen junabo ni kitchiditlich so the zenigi ben the car gone. You see, yidi kilige ya nahalchen kata ultra kata istra katanda iltra bigi holjish. Klanzen gon habikishintli. It's zilon hanle njonagon seta kiss. Njonago yadalti. Njonagon da ah. Njonago in now ye that they are lel. Nash setan lidolil, Hada nidolil, Dabitzil dolil, Alcijo, Yidega, Halon da Credolil. Put Abatsadilson. Adoba da Halyanigi, not Anidan Linigi, but Altradan Linigi, Ado in the also Kan da Jahagi. Ada Batsadison, Edo Batsadilson, Edo Juno Chini, Yanseta kiss, Yishan da Ha. Adoi kana chahdolil. What also does need the liadolil. Ado she dals on the benny, gently con the nal so that a, and so that a. Ado betahado at that a kiss in the nahada yai bada yai. It at a engine go biltan lingo de yotrango. Yinachi dahadol al. Yeda betzilolil. Naskon le how she. Ultra na deitle to nanishta na deitle di baka kodosh that the liadole. Also this yedelia. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for blessing us and giving us strength and help that we need at this time in our lives. And at this time we ask a blessing on the children that we know, that we teach, that we help, and with their families. May we all come together and support, give help to the children as we go through this coming year, as we begin this new year. And we pray that we may be blessed with all the things necessary for them to be successful, that we can be able to be of effect as educators and as principals and as teachers and as helpers. And we pray that all the things necessary for them to learn quickly and to retain and to be able to be successful be given to each one of them, all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade, and that their minds will be set, that their feelings of accomplishment, not only for this year, but for the future, may they be blessed in this way. Kot ashen so zindagi del yado leftiche. Riche kot abat so deals knowledge. I don't know zindagi don't khana sho hanle. Don't khanat ida dole. On hita dish ada dole. Ado khishi kat chen da khoi bat so deals sto. Khishi chehet at enalo zel ida dat. Has tkhani gently saan singo. Khala khishi ma khishi bishe khishi masana. Aid bakhan liya khode chini ka. Also doesn't Adonai Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Hey, thank you, Clayton. It's
Yeah.
very significant, very powerful. Thank you. Today, we do have an agenda that we're going to follow. I guess basically you have the information in front of you somewhere, either that's in your, but what I'd like to do is have Renee bring up the slides as we go along. Agenda, again, we're just basically, we're going to follow that. And the first item that we have there is the updates. You do have the formula grant sites, the email addresses for all of those who are in the Title VI positions. And we do have a couple of new positions that were, I guess, basically that were called to that position. The one is the Salt Lake Community, our Salt Lake City School District. Lorne, could you just kind of introduce yourself and in the position that you have with Salt Lake?
Am I off? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I just barely got this job with the Salt Lake City School District, the American Indian coordinator. I'm mainly working with the high school students, but my mentors that work under me that need help, I will go to the junior highs and elementaries of the 40-something schools that we are working with. I think last night we just had our parent committee meeting, and it went very well. Yeah, it's what I'm doing.
Okay, very good. Yeah, welcome. And the other one is Ogden School District. Is Sandra there, the supervisor for Ogden School District? And I guess if she's not,
I don't believe she could attend this morning, but I will be attending the meetings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll have you as a.
Because I can't take over Lucy's place. Very.
Yeah, sometimes those shoes are hard to fill. You know.
Very hard to fill.
Yeah. So we got that, and now again, if you go back to Renee, if you can pull up the formula grant sites. So we could follow that little protocol there, because there's a few things there is really, really important. We have all the school districts on the left-hand side, and right in the middle you have all the email contact information. And again, this is for collaboration purposes. We also have a writing at the bottom of the page, and for those school districts that have a red asterisk mark by their school district, that's an absolute tribal consultation that needs to take place at the end of the year. This tribal consultation has a benchmark. The benchmark is that you receive more than $40,000 per year, or you have more than 50% of your student population is an American Indian or Alaskan Native. So that's the benchmark that the Office of Indian Education has set. Now we'll talk a little bit more about the tribal consultation, because that's an absolute, and there's a law that goes along with that. So with that formula grant, that's what you have in your possession. And I think along the way, you could probably take a peek at that, because oftentimes that will come back to you. I think this makes our job a lot easier. Instead of looking around and asking questions, you have that in your possession. The next is the calendar. The calendar that we have for the rest of the year, and we have the dates and the times. Now, the recommendation given to us from the Office of Indian Education indicates that we should meet as a whole body, and I think our state in Utah is really, really unique because we meet every month. I just got off a meeting a couple days ago with all the coordinators, or all the directors, Indian Ed directors in each state. And a lot of the states, they don't do what we do in terms of coming all together. And my rationale is that we get everybody on the same page, moving in the same direction. But this direction that we go, everybody has their own programs that they like to run. So we have a pretty good idea what the cash is doing as we go south. We go to the Washington School District. We kind of have an idea what programs are being implemented and what programs are successful. Now, our next meeting is in October. Again, this is all going to be virtual until further notice. Now, the other piece to this calendar is that we provide, and it was highly recommended by the Office of Indian Education, where this is just basically a follow-through which we've been having for the last few years, and as long as far back as I can remember. We have one piece which is the professional development, which we're going to implement next month. The professional development is associated with Indian education. And the other one, the other piece is that presentations that are going to be given to our group. And oftentimes these presentations are all voluntary. And, there's a few presentations that I'll request, which is pertinent and which is relevant to our situation. And the last piece of that is updates. I know that a lot of you guys do have updates. You guys have an exciting schedule throughout the year. So now the fourth thing that we have on the agenda is the formula grant itself. If that formula grant website can be pulled up, Renee. I send you that website because oftentimes that we do have questions, and these questions from this website is very, very updated and clear, because in the years past, a lot of the information that I was receiving was really outdated. And once you get into with that outdated information, it's hard to navigate as to where we're going with the program. But with this formula grant application, you have general information. With that general information, and there's that website, it has some information in terms of webinar announcements, because throughout the year, I know that those webinars are being sent out. And this is basically the webinar that is being announced is something that the Office of Indian Education would like you to hear. And this information is I think it's general information from the website is very pertinent. There's also the updates, all the updates that are happening with the Office of Indian Education. You know, and some of the information that I receive and information that you received, I don't have privy to some of the information that you all receive. You know, this is because that the information that is being sent to you is because of what you find in your formula grant submission with your easy grant. In the last information item on that general information with the website is just basically information that you'd like to read and, you know, become a little bit more versed in that. You know, I've read through this website a couple times because, again, I know that this is an updated version. So it was hard for me to find certain, you know, navigating through that, some of the information. At times it was difficult for me to find, but eventually I stayed with it and I got to see what I got to find what I was looking for. So that's the formula grant in general terms speaking. Now, there is also a letter that was sent out. This was a letter that was sent out from the Office of Indian Education in referencing flexibility, because a lot of the questions that were asked last year was that, you know, the flexibility of the formula grant funding. How do we handle that? And there was an official letter that was sent out. And I think you guys had received the same information I've received. It's that this was sent out in May 13 of 2020. It talks about the flexibility. It's referencing these areas. And I think if you could, you know, in your downtime, you look at that piece of the flexibility statement. It's that you know, they extended the deadlines, but be aware of those deadlines when it starts and when it ends, especially when it ends with the Office of Indian Education. When they indicate that this ends, it ends there, you know. So just kind of be aware of that. The use of funds, how those funds are going to be used. I know that there's a carryover from 19 to 20, from 20 to 21. Just kind of be aware of those dates and what the carryover explanations are, because that will really impact of what you're spending. See, oftentimes that we get caught. We have X amount of funding still left in our bank account or our chest, and we don't know what to do with it. So I think, you know, staying on top of things with this information is always good. And you know, there's one there, and there's another thing that also is that you do have contact information on that formula grant website, and there are, I think they had a facelift on that also with personnel. They're you know, they're willing to help. You know, I've used that service already, and it seems like they're and those questions that you ask, specific questions that you could ask, you know, you can go straight to the to those contact information on that website. There's also a clause in there with the parent committee. And again, that's an absolute with this easy grant, the formula grant, is that you do have a development of a parent committee, and that parent committee will function in terms of support for your Title VI program. You know, within that parent committee segment or area of, you know, there's certain things that there are do's and there are don'ts. So, you know, make sure you become versed with that, because oftentimes that we find that some of the organizations are overstepping their boundaries, and we don't want to get in trouble with that. It also refers to the 506 forms and how that's used. You see that that form has been updated, and if you had a peek at that, you find that some of the information is there. And I just like to emphasize also is that the application is also electronic. You know, that the parent signatures as well as all that application can be filled out electronically and submitted to you. But there has to be a little bit of caution there, because anytime that you put this in an electronic sense, you know, you may have some leaks there, and they may take that information and use it to their advantage and for you the disadvantage. So just kind of be aware that it can be used electronically. The signatures can be gathered electronically, but again, just caution yourself on that electronic stuff. The public hearings also, it has a little bit of information on that. This is all in updated information that everybody needs to know in terms of your public hearings. And oftentimes these public hearings are held at the end of the year when your easy grant is being authorized by the LEA, being sent to the Office of Indian Education. In this public hearing, you know, that you know, they ask, you know, how should we approach this? And oftentimes that's approached by making an announcement, you know, put it on the school website and put it on your website, maybe a flyer or two, get the information out. So, you know, you covered all your bases. And the last information item on that website is that the consultation with the tribes. So the consultation on the tribe with the tribes is again, that's for those schools that reach their benchmark, to make sure that that is followed. And usually at the end of the year, toward the end of the year, and usually we'll have this consultation sometime around spring. It's you know, April. No, that's March or April. And you know, in the years past, with all the tribal consultation that we have with the local tribes, usually my office sets that up, and I don't think it's going to be anything different, except for San Juan and Washington School District. Oftentimes they set up their own tribal consultation. But the schools that are north of there, you know, oftentimes that we do have a local tribe that is in agreement with the consultation segment with our school districts. And toward the end of the year, you know, these are going to be small reminders, and I'll remind you that this is a time that we need to have the tribal consultation with the tribes. So that will be set up also. There's part 1 and part 2 within that website also. Just kind of be aware what is within those part 1 and part 2. And a lot of it is the frequently asked questions, which is always good to know, because oftentimes that you ask the question and you'll find the answer there. And I believe in part 2, you'll find your 506 forms also. And oftentimes that's, you know, navigating through that whole website, you know, for me, it took a while to find it. So I had an opportunity to read both parts a couple times, and it you know, answers a lot of good questions where it you know, where the organizations, what it does, its purpose, its goals, objectives, some of the funding, the responsibilities, the accountability. It also answers some of the questions with the protocols of your office, the protocols of what the organization is supposed to do. Some of the information, it also deals with the responsibilities and accountability with the parent groups. It talks a little bit about the public hearings also. So it has a lot of good information there, and I think that once we become very, very versed with that, that things work out a whole lot easier. Up to this point, are there any questions? And now I'm going to go into the easy grant, or the easy the Essa Plan. And again, you do have a copy of that that was sent to you. The Essa Plan is the Every Student Success Act. This was implemented in 2000. Well, it asked for recommendations around 2015, 2016. And I believe it was implemented in 2016. And a year after that, for everybody's knowledge, that we put this plan together, all the Title VI coordinators put our Essa Plan together in the state of Utah. And within this plan, we had an introduction section. And from the introduction section, you know, you do have that plan also has the tribal consultation, and there's a little small paragraph on that, what that entails. It also entails the LEA, the criteria. And again, back to the criteria of receiving $40,000 plus 50% of your American Indian students are American Indians in your school district. The consultation has to be done in a timely manner. And I think every year we've always met our benchmark, because this benchmark is that this tribal consultation date and the time and with who, I believe, is put on your easy grant before it's being sent to the Office of Indian Education. The last part to that is the appendix. And again, this appendix, it was put together by the Title VI coordinators, and they had a lot of suggestions and recommendations. And if you open up that part there, you see that the writing that are in red, you know, there's 3 of them. It's the strengthening tribal assurance, strengthening education programs, and providing funding for the American Indian Alaska Native students. That piece there, again, that was all put together by the Title VI coordinators. And last year we had an opportunity to update this information. So we were a couple steps ahead of what other states were doing, because we did update our information, and this information here was attached to the Essa Plan with the Department of Education here at USBE, and that was sent to the Department of Education. So we basically had our area covered in terms of the participation from all the Title VI folks. Now the last piece to this is the NIEA conference. No, there's 2 more pieces here. Let me talk a little bit about the funding. Is the Utah grants. The Utah grants, again, this was according to our plan now. if you look at the Essa Plan, and you guys have that in your possession, the last piece to that is in red marks. It says affirmation, or it's the funding, provide funding for the American Indian Alaskan Native students. This is where the funding takes place with the Utah grants. This took some effort on my office's part, because I realized that the only funding that you guys were receiving was from the Office of Indian Education, and a lot of that funding was forwarded toward employment and your staff and your mentors. There was really nothing for the programs. So it took a couple of strong efforts with some support from the tribes to approach the legislative body to ask for funding. And that's the funding that you guys receive now through Utah grants. And some parts I'm sad to report, also sad to say that some of the funding from Utah grants was returned, and that I think this Utah grants, spending a lot of times with the legislatures as to funding our programs, that takes a lot of effort. So please plan and do the planning where the finances are coming. I had a conversation with our accountant yesterday. There's going to be some funding coming your way. This should be coming your way within another 10 days. This is a little early on from last year, because last year we got caught this because of this pandemic, and everybody was kind of pushing the panic button. I was pushing the panic button along with them too. And this year our accountant is going to be a little different. We have that funding now is available for us, and I just talked to her on Monday, and she says that she'll get that out as soon as possible. Give her some time, because again, she's dealing with a lot of numbers, the sites, and not only is she doing the budgetary items for Title VI, she's doing all the budgetary items for all our federal programs. So that just want you to be aware that let's start planning and how that funding is going to be used. I just like to say a little thing on the parent organizations, that when you develop your parent organizations, keep an open mind. Oftentimes that sometimes that they're not the most active people. If you set an agenda and have plans in mind and disclose that to your parents, they'll follow. But if you go from meeting to meeting and finding out that the parents would like to know what's going to happen next month, the following month, 6 months from now, at the end of the year, what kind of plans that you have for them. See, that is I believe that's proper planning, because they like to see what goes on at the end of the year, especially those parents whose kids are graduating, because they surely like to see that award system happen to their children, and their children are focused on, and so on and so forth. So that organization would be great if that's organized well and planned accordingly. Let's see where, and I think the last piece is that the NIEA conference, which is going to be in Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know how many of you plan to attend. From our USBE, my conversation is that, the travel, let's put it that way, everybody's travel is being restricted. So most likely I won't be attending. So I've been emailing some of the board members from the NIEA that I know that having our national meeting a couple days ago, half of the state coordinators, state directors of Indian Ed, they don't plan to attend because of the restrictions that they do have from their state also. So we're asking for a virtual. So I'm not so sure how far that's going to go, because what the explanation they gave me was that, well, Omaha, Nebraska, it's they're not on a high alert, although that you see the numbers are increasing with the COVID-19. So I'm just making an effort that hopefully that they'll have a change of mind to have that virtual also. So that's what we have with our agenda today, but a lot of it is the information has been sent to you. If you could go through and comb through the websites, as well as some of the topics or the websites that was sent to you. If you could look through that, and if there are questions on that, let me know. Now, up to this point, are there any questions, comments? Okay. Now, the next part to our...
Dr. Foster, I do have a question. Is it
Sure.
the funding that from Utah grants that you're giving us? Is it going to be roughly around the same amount we got last year?
No, it's good. There's a small increase, so expect that.
Okay.
Again, I'm doing everything possible to fulfill that part on our Essa Plan, to provide funding for the American Indian Alaskan Native students, and that's being put into Utah grants.
Yeah.
So it's always a work in progress,
Yeah, if anybody
Yes.
needs help, like I've been spending on library books for our kids and iPads and stuff like that. If they need any ideas, I'm willing to help. This is Sarai from Davis.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we don't have other questions. Now let me before we turn some of the time over to Walter, I just like to say, I'm very grateful for what you guys do. You guys are in the first line of well, I don't call it defense, first line of action. You guys are in the trenches. You guys see what happens with students, with the movement of the students within the school system. You guys have your association with teachers, the principals, administrative staff, faculty. And you guys also have association with your community. I commend you for that effort, because without that effort, a lot of our programs wouldn't go anywhere. But I think that this is an ongoing process. We may do it one day, and the next day we'd say, what happened? It's just that you have to go back to the drawing board. And I commend you for that. And the other piece is that your participation. I think I go back to listening to other state education, Indian education programs, is that they don't do what we do in terms of getting everybody together every month, because this gives us an opportunity to share, to collaborate with each other, and to bring you up to speed with the updates. And some of you guys do have some extraordinary updates that sometimes that I think you could share. And I think the last thing is that, enjoy your job, don't make this, don't make your job be stressful. You got colleagues, you got people that you can talk to. And I think that make this job as fun as possible, because think of students, think of your children, think of those kids, especially in the primary grades. Those kids are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. When you get into the middle school, they're a little, they begin to see that change. And when you get into high school, it's they've changed quite a bit, and they're young adults and ready to go on into another segment of their life. And to see this growth, and not, and I think often that we see some students, they do go through, you see your students enter a kindergarten and you see them graduate. And some of them, you don't see that. They'll be in school maybe the first 5-6 years, and then they relocate. You may not see them again. But you always want to leave the good impression in their mind that I had a very, very good experience with the Title VI programs in my school district. I think that's where the compliments and the rewards that we sometimes don't receive. So I just like to thank you for and commend you for all that work that you guys are doing. So I have Walter. Do you want to carry on the program and with the health access programs and explain what it is, and just tell us a little bit about yourself first before you talk about the program, and I'll let you go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some of you that I think a lot of you know who I am. I'm Walter Watchman. I'm Dene. I live up here in Salt Lake City, and I've been I've been working with a lot of the Title VI Indian Ed coordinators for years, especially up here and in Salt Lake, as well as Utah County too as well, and so I've been blessed in my life to not only work with our coordinators, but especially see what the type of work that they've been doing to help our children up here in this area. And not only that, but I've had some opportunities to through the state office to also touch bases with some of the coordinators and some of our stakeholders, even throughout the state of Utah as well. So some of you might have known that I used to work with Sacred Circle Healthcare as their outreach specialist. Right now, I'm actually working with a different organization right now. The organization I work with right now is called the Utah Health Policy Project, and what they are basically is it's a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that works to find sustainable healthcare solutions for our underserved Utah community members, and to help them to get better access to healthcare, education, and also they do a lot with public policy too as well. And they've actually been, my understanding is that they've been here in the community since 2006, and they've just been awesome. I've had a great opportunity to join this organization and to help with a lot with not only doing what their goal and their mission is, but also being a part of the team that they have here too as well. And so right now I work closely with a lot of our other stakeholders here in Salt Lake County, and I would like to expand my reach as well throughout the state of Utah with the Utah Health Policy Project. And then joining me as well with this virtual meeting right now is my colleague. Her name is Sarah Leatham, and she is actually our Healthy Kids Program Director here at the organization, and she's been here for a while. And I'm going to kind of allow her to kind of introduce herself too as well before I present with to give my presentation as well.
Thank you so much, Walter, and thank you so much, Dr. Foster, and everyone here for having me today. This is an amazing group doing amazing things for Utahns. Yes, as Walter mentioned, I'm the Healthy Kids Program Director here at UHPP. You know, our main focus is meeting eligible children in Utah that are in underserved areas and helping them connect to state benefit programs for health coverage. So most of the time that means Medicaid, sometimes it means CHIP, but we also help with the marketplace or Obamacare plans. A lot of times we'll have parents end up on the marketplace, and then sometimes our kids end up on Medicaid and CHIP. We work with a lot of families here in the West Valley City area. We also do a lot of work in Summit County, Utah County, and Davis County. But we do have tools to really help anyone one-on-one through an application, through their eligibility process anywhere in the state. We can do that. We have great tools that are accessible for our clients and folks that we work with. So we're excited to be here, and thanks to Walter for bringing these resources to this group. It's exciting to see.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and share our PowerPoint presentation, and then just kind of go through a little bit of what we can do to help with our families in each of your school districts here in the state of Utah. And then for you Indian Ed coordinators, just to kind of let you know what we are basically our services on providing our clients, or in this case, the parents, Native American parents, access to like what Sarah said, to Medicaid, also the CHIP, and then also to the marketplace insurance as well. So on the screen, you can see that we're Take Care Utah, which is actually connected with Utah Health Policy Project. And we'll go ahead and continue here with our next slide here. So as she mentioned, our most common Medicaid programs that we find here in the state of Utah is CHIP, Medicaid, and then also with what we have right now is the marketplace insurance through the Affordable Cares Act that was implemented here in the United States. And then also there's other products within the Medicaid program that we have, which is also the UPP, which is Utah's Premium Partnership for Health Insurance, and then also Targeted Adult Medicaid, or its acronym is known as TAM. And then also we have the Spin Down Medicaid, which is a Medicaid Work Incentive Program. And then we also have Disability Medicaid too as well that we have. That's one of the products of the Medicaid program here in Utah. So who qualifies for Medicaid? Well, here in the state of Utah, you have to be a Utah resident here for Utah Medicaid. As you probably know, all the states have Medicaid programs, but here in Utah, we do also have our Medicaid program. But for Utah Medicaid, we have to be a Utah resident. You have to be a Utah citizen or a legal resident, and also meet income requirements based on household size before taxes. Also with Medicaid, if you make a certain amount over the income requirement for Medicaid, if you have children, then you can also qualify for CHIP. CHIP also has, you can meet the income requirement if it's a little bit higher for the parents, that they make more money. to have their kids be on CHIP. And then also women that are pregnant, people with disabilities, and adults over 65 can also qualify for Medicaid as well. And then also that what was effective on January 1st was the adult expansion that opened up here in Utah, which allowed a lot of our single adults aged 19 through 64 to qualify. And then also with the pandemic, however, that came into play, the part of the requirement for community engagement, which is to get, work requirement for people that would qualify for Medicaid, that one right now has been stopped right now. And I think probably temporarily until we're past this pandemic period right now. So there.
And hey, Walter, I just wanted to give an update. There's actually no community engagement required anymore. So this is a little outdated, but that just happened in the last few months. So that's really good news.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, and then also with the adults between that can qualify are usually at 100% to 130% federal poverty level on their income that can qualify for Medicaid. So anyway, we have an eligibility chart, income chart here that we have that basically we use as a tool for us that work here at Take Care Utah that allows us to be able to look at certain families and then also look at the type of products within Medicaid that they can qualify for based upon their income and also their situation too as well. And that way we can get them let them know the information and allow them to see whether or not they can qualify for Medicaid with their family. So some of the common questions that we have is like, do I have to be working to apply for work in order to get Medicaid? Well, due to COVID-19, Utah has suspended the Medicaid work reporting requirement. And as Sarah mentioned, with the community engagement requirement, that's right now is no longer in existence with that. So that part there, we don't have to worry about in that aspect. And then also another question is, what do I need to apply for Medicaid? Well, as I mentioned, as we help the people apply for Medicaid, usually it's proof of income, either paycheck stubs, tax return forms, and also for those that are self-employed, we can also work with them on obtaining the help that they can get to determine how they can verify their self-employment income to DWS. And then also household information like phone number, address, and name are the information that eligibility services would need for them to apply for Medicaid. And then another question is, what healthcare options are available if I'm not eligible for any health insurance coverage? Well, one of the things that I found when I was working at Sacred Circle Healthcare was that, yes, we did have assistance to help those that were on to apply for Medicaid, but a lot of times with our families, especially throughout the state of Utah, our Native American families, the parents are working, and so a lot of times they don't qualify for Medicaid, and so sometimes they feel like, well, what other options do I have? Well, there's also there's community health centers like I mentioned with Sacred Circle Healthcare, and then also in hospitals throughout the state of Utah, they also have financial assistance programs that they can qualify for if they are looking for other healthcare options. So one of the things that I found that was really great here with the organization that I'm working with right now is our ability to share the information to our clients about marketplace insurance. And as I mentioned, it was through the Affordable Cares Act here in the United States that allowed a lot of our U.S. citizens here to apply for insurance in the marketplace through, and I think a lot of people also know it as Obamacare about that. Well, what qualifications that the person or our families, Native American families and kids would need to be, obviously, is that we are U.S. citizens, and then also anyone with legal documentation, which, in our case, a lot of us have legal status here in the United States as well. So it should be that all of our Native American families can qualify for applying for marketplace insurance. Now on here, it just say DACA. DACA is actually for families that are children that are what they consider as dreamers, that don't have really citizenship here in the United States. Those are the ones that usually are not accepted for, or qualified rather, for marketplace insurance. So the benefits for our American Indian Alaska Native communities here in the state of Utah is that if they have an income between 100% to 300% of federal poverty level income, the marketplace coverage will not have any out-of-pocket costs like copays, deductibles, and etc. And they only have to pay a monthly premium for that. And then also members of federally recognized tribes and Alaska Natives shareholders can enroll in a marketplace plan anytime. So most of you probably have heard through the media that the marketplace insurance, that it closed, which it is right now. It's currently closed right now. And the open enrollment for that is not until the start of the 1st of November. But for our Native American families here in the state of Utah, we're still in that special enrollment period, meaning that our enrollment is open throughout the year. So for our Native American families that are looking to get insurance through the marketplace insurance, they can apply right now for that. And our organization, we have brokers here in our organization that can help the families apply for marketplace insurance. In fact, since I've been working here with Utah Health Policy Project, there's been some Native American families that have come in or called in and have looked into getting assistance on navigating the marketplace insurance, and we've been able to help them here through our marketplace. And so a lot of them have been really grateful for that, because one family in particular, the mother said it was just so hard to go on the internet and look at the marketplace.gov and then just like, well, what do I do? What plan do I choose? Whatever. And we have brokers here that can help them with that. And our brokers, we don't charge any fee to help them with it. Our services are free, and we can help them in not only applying for a marketplace, but also helping them to find what plan would best fit according to their income and also to their family situation as well. And so I mentioned, like, they can roll in marketplace anytime right now, our Native American families, and you can also change your plans up to once a month for that. And then as for Medicaid and CHIP, for our Native American families, they also don't have to pay any copays, coinsurance, or premiums for services with their Medicaid and CHIP if they are enrolled in those programs.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a study that was done by our Take Care Utah organizations where they gave out, they worked with 203 families that were given Medicaid applications to fill out. And in this study, they found that 96 children without case management, only 26% of them were enrolled. Now, and then of 107 children with case management, 74% of them did enroll in the Medicaid program. And what that tells you is that with our organization that we have and with our brokers that work here, or in this case, we're also known as Health Access Assisters, we are able to help and not only the families to apply for Medicaid or marketplace insurance, but we also have the ability to case manage with them, meaning that we can, call them if they have questions about, how they're going to, they just received a letter from DWS saying that they need this type of verification. What do I need to do? Then we can help them here because we have the ability to case manage with them as well. And as Sarah mentioned, that it's just not with families here, in the urban setting. It also, we can help families that are, even down in San Juan County as well, through remote access as well. If they're having any questions with that, we can help them with case management so that they don't have any, like a lot of times, a lot of families that we've worked with here, they get really frustrated because they don't know what DWS really wants. And so we have health access assisters here that really have the experience and the knowledge to be able to help them with that. So that's something that to take into consideration too as well. So the way that we have it set up here with the organization is that you can schedule an appointment online by going to takecareutah.org/bookings. And the families, what they can do is they could go to that website. They can schedule a time that's best suited for them, that's convenient for them. And then what we'll do is we'll contact them and then set up a time where we can help them with either questions that they have about Medicaid or about CHIP or about marketplace insurance, and then also help them apply for it too as well. And then also allow them to know that that we can also case manage them, their cases with Medicaid, CHIP, and with well, I'll call it Obamacare, but marketplace insurance. And so if they do that, we can help them here through our organization. And I know that a lot of people out there, especially right now, close to Christmas or what may, those are things that they don't have to worry about, especially with their healthcare needs. And I know that there's a lot of families out there, our Native families that also are dealing with the pandemic, that are also really concerned about their health and what they can do to be able to provide the health care they need for their families and for their children. So anyway, or you can also call, there's a number there on the slide, 801-433-2299, and that's another way that you can access our services here at Take Care Utah, Utah Health Policy Project. Okay, so is there any questions that you have right now regarding to what we presented today, regarding to our services through Utah Health Policy Project?
Hey, Walter, if you have a client that is in need of surgery, what would be the procedure? Do they have to be screened by you guys first and then referred to a hospital, or how does that if you could just kind of lay that foundation down?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dr. Foster. So a lot are, like I said, they would go and call one of our health access assisters here at the organization, and then what we would do is then screen them to see where they're at in terms of their life situation. We would ask about what their residency is, what their if they're a citizen or not here in the United States, and then also what their income is and what the size of their family is as well. And then we'll ask a little bit more about what like you mentioned in regards to surgery and what they're doing at that point. And then what I've seen here with our organization, Dr. Foster, is that our assisters here are kind of like a network. I've seen a lot of them, they really, we have some people that have been here for a long time that have really learned a lot with how our eligibility services works with, and also with our marketplace insurance. So a lot of them will talk amongst each other to find out what's the best solution for that person to receive the care that they need with, especially in this case with surgery as well. And so they, so it's just not a one person thing here. We have a lot of people here that help each other and to be able to find the best solution for that. And so, does that answer your question, Dr. Foster?
Oh yeah, there's two more. COVID shots and medication. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah, did you want to take those questions? You know a little bit more about those than I would.
Yeah, as far as COVID shots, I mean, those should be free and accessible to everyone, and we do quite a bit of vaccine outreach. So if we have a client that has a question about a COVID vaccine, we can surely connect them to the nearest area to them where they can access that. And as far as prescriptions, any one of these plans will have prescription benefits covered. So anyone on Medicaid or children on CHIP, any plan through the marketplace will have, that's an included benefit. It's known as an essential benefit, and so any plan that is offered has to include that as a benefit. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
So anyway,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys do dental? Does that include in the medical, or because I have lots of people that do need dental.
So the dental, which is really kind of different from Medicaid, they do offer the dental portion of it, but it's usually covered through TAMs, people that are on target adult Medicaid, and then also those that have disabilities as well. Now, children, however, if a child is on child Medicaid, that part of the benefits with that is also dental services for children. As for adults, however, the dental portion of that is only for those that are on target adult Medicaid or those that are on disability Medicaid. And
I was going to say there are dental plans also available through the marketplace. So if you're applying for an Obamacare plan for medical, you can also select a dental plan to go along with it, and they're pretty affordable. Unfortunately, you can't apply through the marketplace only for a dental plan. You have to pair it with a medical plan. If someone already has medical coverage and they only need the dental, you can call a dental plan provider directly here in Utah and purchase a plan. They can be a little bit pricier, $20 to $50 a month. But if you're going through the marketplace and you're picking a medical plan, the dental plans are a lot more affordable.
And also, Walter, hi, this is Charlene Pete.
Hi.
Sacred Circle would also offer dental to those who may qualify that are not tribal members. Of course, our tribal members from CTGR qualify for that type. But for other natives, you might want to check and call Sacred Circle. We have two locations, the one downtown on 6th and 2nd, is that correct?
Yep.
And then the one in West Valley now.
Yep, you're right.
Another question, Walter, is this service available throughout the whole state?
So as Sarah and I mentioned in our presentation, so we have, because we have that Take Care Utah website, a lot of our Native families throughout the state of Utah can book an appointment through that, and then we have the beauty of the internet, of course, is that we can be able to work with them on a virtual basis on helping them apply for Medicaid or through the marketplace too as well. And so that in fact, when I was at the retreat there in Provo, I met one of the chair for the chapter house down there. And he was telling me about a family down there that was looking for something in the marketplace. And so we were able to actually help that family that was down there in the White Mesa area. So that's, out in the rural area there. And they were able to work through the Take Care Utah booking online to get assistance with that. So yeah, we can do it. Now, the only thing, of course, is that we wouldn't be able to in person, at least for now, until we get somebody, the organization, finds another health access sister in that area down there. But for the time being, though, with the internet, we're able to do or extend our services to those that live even as far as down in San Juan County and up north, and even out by Wendover as well for those from the Goshute tribe too, and those out in Duchesne and Fort Duchesne too for those that are Northern Ute. So.
Walter. Could you send me like a flyer or something that I can post on our bulletin boards out at the tribal building? Because although our Sacred Circle is accessible to all of our tribal members, there are still some tribal members that are healthy, but now they find themselves in a position where they need dental or health care, and are kind of, like you said, kind of in between where they work and they can't, but they can't afford to buy insurance. So maybe they would be able to need assistance with that from your organization. If you could send one to me at charlene.pete@ctgr.us, I can post those up and reach those type of patients for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if any of you have, what I'll do is, because this is being recorded, I'll send my information and the organization information to Dr. Chuck Foster, and then that way you guys will have information to our organization, and be able to share that with all of you as well about how to contact us, and just for questions that you have or further questions. One of the things that I found that's so fascinating with this organization is that with Medicaid and with the marketplace, there's a lot of little detailed information out there that sometimes we sometimes overlook or are paying attention to, that can make a big difference in the care that our families can get, especially as they're trying to take care of their families. And so, we'll make sure and get that information to all of you, because we really, here at Take Care Utah, we really want to help our community members here in the state of Utah to get access to health care.
Okay, thank you.
Also, the other thing too, just to mention, we have health access assisters that are stationed, like here in Salt Lake. We have some that can travel down to Utah County, and then also up in Davis County to Weber County, and also we have some that can access there in Box Elder to Cache County. We have actually a healthcare assister, our health access assister, that's also located in Cache County as well. And so for some of you, if you want our health access assisters to do a presentation at one of your parent committee meetings or one of your events, we would be more than happy to go there, and put a table there and give them that information that they would need for if they're applying for Medicaid or marketplace insurance. We would be happy to do that. And then also those are in Park City too as well. We have, we travel to Park City, and so we can do that.
Okay. Sounds great, Walter. Hey, thank you for your information. I think this is a good advantage that some of the families can take advantage of in terms of their medical, I guess their medical issues or their medical areas, of their life. So thank you again, along with Sarah. Thank you. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's ask Clayton, could you give us an update on the Navajo language class in terms of its beginning, the process, registration, or anything that you could get people excited? Because I think we've already had one class that was this past Tuesday, and we surely don't want to get behind the 8 ball and say that we're 8 classes or 8 sessions behind, and all of a sudden we say, well, we want to register the student. So go ahead, Clayton.
Yeah, I would like to share. Renee or somebody that's controlling the, could I have the rings for showing some pictures?
Should be able to.
Just make me a host or something.
Yeah, I don't think I have to. I think you're able to share. Not have the little arrow up button.
Okay.
That little arrow up button that's by the leave button. That should share your content.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. So do you guys see a picture? Yeah. John? I want you to look at this picture because I showed it to many people in the last week or so. And
yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to really hone in on this year is there are helpers in our lives. And I'm not just talking about people. I'm talking about nature type people. And here's one called the horned toad. In Navajo, we call him Na'asho'i. And he goes way, way, way back. And we call him Shiche. We have a kinship term, it would be Shiche. And Shiche is part of our class this year. Shiche is full of wisdom, just like some of you folks that are elders. You have so much story that you've been collecting from your family, from your friends, from your elders, from your places that you go. Even in just nature, you experience things. Well, this Che is also full of not just knowledge and wisdom and story, but also language called the Nebazan. And one of the stories that I talk about is back when the twin warriors were preparing themselves to do what they want to do in life. He was captured, one of them called Monster Slayer, Nayet Nazgana, was captured by one of the first Yetis, and he was out there captive, and he was collecting wood, and he would say to the Yeti, "Why am I collecting wood?" And he would say, "Don't talk back, build that fire. I want you to build that fire so I can cook you and eat you." Says this Yeti, the thing that he loves is to eat children. Anyway, he was out there collecting wood, and he heard the famous sound. He heard it 4 times before he could recognize exactly where the sound was coming from. And then he noticed that there's a horned toad there, and horned toad says, "Shitsui, why are you crying?" You know, Nayet Nazan says, he's going to eat me. And then horned toad says, don't cry, Shitsu, Ashonde. I'll help you. See this hat? Yei is really afraid of this hat. So he gives the hat to Nayet Nazgan, and Nayet Nazgan puts it on, and Horned Toad said, "Now go see, tell Ye what you found." So he runs back, and then Ye was there lying down, kind of asleep. And Nayet goes over there and tries to wake him up. And he said, go get some more wood, we need a big fire. And Nayet and said, I found something. But Ye didn't want to look at it. And finally Ye says, okay. He stood up really fast and said, and says, I'm really afraid of that thing. And so for the first time, Nayet Nazana felt like he could give, he had power to do something, which he couldn't find before. And eventually he started running after Ye, and Ye ran, and he was being chased by Nayet Nazana. And finally he got cornered in this big cliff, and he couldn't go anywhere. And Nayet Nazana sticks the hat to his face, to Ye's face, and Ye fell backwards, and he died. And so that's how he got his name, Nayet Nazana, Monster Slayer. All right. So Shiche is full of wisdom. Shiche is full of power. Shiche is full of knowledge. Shiche is full of words. Great help. And then I tell the students, Shiche is not the only one that can help like that, particularly if you're in a school situation. You have a lot of helpers. You have teachers, principals, counselors, Indian education, Title VI coordinators, all those folks are great help to you. I want to show this to you because now I want to show you what it is that we're doing here. Okay, so one of the things we're doing, it actually starts with a kid signing up for the class. So what I do is I sent an email to the student. They sign up, they put their name, their email, their home address, their high school address, because these are all needed to be able to make final grade reports and things. Title VI coordinators. Sometimes they don't know who the coordinators are, so I say, don't worry about it. We'll find out who can help you in the school or in the district. I need to know what grade they're level on, because if they're in junior high, I say you can come in next year, but not now, stuff like that. And because this Navajo language is actually tied to the Navajo Nation Chief Manuelito Scholarship. Okay, so the Office of Indian Education or Office of the Navajo Nation Scholarship and Financial Assistance, it spells out that if you're going to get the scholarship as a high school student, especially at 12th grade level, you need to complete a course including Navajo language, 1 unit high school credit, or a college credit. If you're already in college, then you can also take a language course, but Navajo language course. But usually, if you're way out there, you can't do that. And then another thing is that you need to take a Navajo governance class, which will give you half a credit in high school and put on your transcript. Now, I was talking to Randy yesterday, Randy White, and he was saying, I've heard that Navajo 2 is also needed. It doesn't really say here. I'm still searching to see if Navajo 2 is really needed for the Manuelito Scholarship. I do have a Navajo 2 class starting this next Monday, which is like a Navajo 1 is a prerequisite to Navajo 2. So if your students have taken Navajo 1, would like to take Navajo 2, they can starting Monday. So I can send them a registration form and they can fill it out. I've only had 2 requests so far. I need at least 3 or 4 students to be able to really make that class grow. Now, why would you want Navajo 2 that I'm offering? The reason why is some universities, some places where they go like a college and they say we have what we call a foreign language experience, and that's real good for students because a foreign language experience says you can take a test if you have ability to, or if you have that under your belt, two foreign language courses, we can actually waive, meaning give you credits for those 2 foreign language experience at the university level. And that means that's equal to about 8 credits right there. Okay, so that's the reason why I teach both Navajo 1, Navajo 2, because some universities can offer and give help to the students. All right, but I will continue to find out if Navajo 2 is a prerequisite for manual ETL scholarship. If anybody has that information, maybe you can share that with us right now. But right now I'm looking at the Navajo Nation website, Navajo Nation Scholarship and Financial Assistance. All right, let's go to
Clayton.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Brenda.
Go ahead.
So talking with Navajo Nation Scholarship Office, one of the classes that they do require is Navajo government. So that's one of the classes that a lot of students are always asking about.
Right.
So that's one of their major reference classes that they use for their scholarship selection.
Right. That class I will offer during the spring. It'll be March 1st. And if you need information right now, I can give you a flyer. I can give you syllabus. I can students can start signing up, when probably right soon after, they come back from their break, Christmas break. There you go. And I'm willing to take folks even down in reservation, because there's some schools that don't offer Navajo government in their schools or district. So I'm going to go down there.
So, and then the other question that one of the parents had was, if they take a class from you, would it count towards their high school graduation? And how does that work with credit transfer? And then are the classes being offered by what entity?
Yeah. So what happens there is, in the state of Utah, we already have Navajo 1, Navajo 2, Navajo governments in all the other courses that are required in the state of Utah. It is on there. So for that reason, we are able to offer this Navajo 1, Navajo 2, and Navajo governments, and they can get a grade, and the students can have them put on their transcript. And sometimes I work with the school district. Sometimes I work with the school, this individual schools, and in Utah it's basically pretty flexible. Other schools, private schools, other state schools, I work specifically with somebody in the registrar and their school registrar. It could be a counselor, it could be a registrar person, and we just communicate through email, and then we're able to make it work. All right, let's see what else I have. So this is a syllabus. This year you have Chiche Bazad Bohosh I'm learn Chiche Bazad, and one of the visions that Chiche offers is that this is we want students to go beyond just thinking classes and school and all that. We want them to think in terms of, who am I? Who do I represent? And what can I do in life? And I give them a vision called, and we say, Chiche says, you become a nude in that warrior, and it starts with knowledge of the language, culture, history, those things. And then we say, what is that? What are you going to do in life? Well, the idea of doing greater good. And then we can go in more details by that, but that's as far as I go with the students. And then from there, we learn the language. We have the syllabus offers all the information that you would need for connection with each other. Right here in the blue, all they do is click here, and they're able to come into my class. All right. And then we have kind of some details about the course, the rationale, the types of goals. But the main thing I think the students would love is we had a class this last Tuesday. We called it Deyad Eshitsi, and we talk about conversation with for Chiche. And then we already have the YouTube version of the class last Tuesday. So let's say your student can't make it at 4 o'clock. well, maybe when they finish at 7 o'clock and they're home right now, or they can get access to a computer or something, they can go and listen to this class that happened on Tuesday. So if you're a week behind, if your students are still talking about it and you still want to get on board, I would say, yes, you can, but also listen to the first class that we've had already. One of this, and sometimes a student would say, this last Tuesday, one of the students says, can I get is there some video clips that tell you exactly what the A and the E and the I and the consonants all, how do you say those? And I said, well, I do have another thing that we did last year, and that's how do you pronounce these words? And so that's one that you can do on your own and based on the next class, which is September 21st, Tuesday, 4 o'clock. I should say, will teach you about colors. Okay, so we'll finish up hello, and then we'll go into colors. All right, and then we'll go all the way down to February 22nd, the last day of class, and there Shiche will teach you a game how you can remember things, or can you remember things, kind of like a little quiz idea. Mm-hmm. If you have I tell the students, that if you want to get an A, this is all you do, or B. I try to stay away from C, D, F, but if you're here at least, 19 or 20 of the 21 days, you should be able to have a good grade. Or the heart of it is you got to do pass outs, okay? You can do it in class, or you can do it with your language facilitators, or somebody that I kind of approve that can do that. Extra credit means that we can do quizzes, we can do a little final. And the last thing is I expect the email, and that reason why I expect the email is I need to know what it is that the students should be willing to, let's see what, right, yeah, right here. So the class map or way that we teach, okay, Shiche says, I'll give you some thoughts, okay? I have a list of things that I call, categories, and the first was yate. So I took four or so of the words, or 5 of the words, and I put it into Shiche's language, and then we practice a conversation with Shiche. Shiche would say, Johnny, Han Eshitsi, and the student would say, Nijone, Yansh Eshiche, so there's a conversation going on with them. And then once they learn that, they take it into what I call Ina. And there they say, I'm going to teach this to somebody that is not part of this class. So it could be somebody at home, their little sister, brother, somebody, friend. And then I say, tell me about that experience. Give me an email. What did you teach it, and what did you find? And we're saying, Shiche says, the greatest way to learn is to teach the thing that you're learning. And so that's what we do. All right, so I'll just give you a quick taste of what's going on. Here's the class. I have about 53 students so far, 54 just from probably the other day. So we have a good list of students. Anybody have any thoughts or questions you have at this time? Then go, yeah, thank you. I will have Navajo 2 open. If anybody needs help to come Navajo 2, we'll do that.
Okay. Thank you, Clayton. That's great. Giving us an overview like that, and I think a tradition with the grand folks, Shiche. And also like to thank Granite School District, because they're the people that are receiving the recommendation to give those grades and put them on an official letter that be sent out to all the coordinators. So, I had conversation with David the other day about that, and we're just going to continue what we've been doing in the past years. So thanks. Yeah. The next is Stephanie Raleigh. Are you there somewhere?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, let me just set the backdrop on this. There were a few students who were interested in pursuing and learning the Goshute language, and this was in the Tooele School District, and that was brought to the attention of the school district as well as the Goshute tribe, and that's the outside area. Now, on the inside area with USBE, they have to go through a protocol. The protocol such as having this language land in some department, which is the World Language Department, which we have the support from there. We also had to have the licensure department also, because again, we like to have this person who's going to be the instructor to be vetted by the tribe and recommended to the licensure department, where the licensure department would put this on their transcript as to being one of the official teachers or instructors with the Goshute language. It's basically the same protocol as what we have set up with the Navajo tribe. And the last thing is that this proclamation, if you will, it was signed by the Superintendent Dixon from the USBE. In other words, it's been signed off that she authorized this to happen, where the licensure as well as the world language and these students who are taking the class, you know, we're starting out small, but we're going to grow. And I guess maybe in a year or so, we'll have this offered to our high school students too, just like we've done with the Navajos, and we'll go through the same protocol with that. So that's kind of the backdrop. But I'd like to have Stephanie talk a little bit more about that and its implication and its process and the importance. And I think Charlene's out there too. So go ahead.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Foster, for that introduction. With this process, it's been fascinating to go through this process. I'm sorry I do not have a camera on my computer. I just moved into a new office and I have this like huge vent that makes loud noise. So I have no idea how echoey and how windy I sound, nor can you see me. So I do apologize for that. So I need to get a camera. I just want to mention that this has been a fascinating process because we received those requests from our Goshute students within both of the tribes that are connected with Tooele County School District. We have the Skull Valley Band of Goshute, and then we have the Confederated Tribe of Goshute Reservation. And it was noteworthy to it's noteworthy to note that we had a couple of our students within the Skull Valley area that had been already receiving Goshute language instruction, but not having an avenue for them to be able to receive credit was, you know, when I heard about that part was dismaying, basically, that they had been putting forth quite a bit of work and effort, and we needed to be able to find a way to be able to get these students some credit. So as Dr. Foster mentioned, we have been working for the last multiple months with the World Language Department with USBE, and there has been that agreement that has been drawn up and signed by Superintendent Dixon and Sid Dixon, and it has opened up the pathway for us to be able to move forward with this process. Just last week, we were able to post for a Goshute language instructor, and within our district, this is a small, but even though it's only a small amount of hours for certified teacher pay, it's just a starting point. And we do plan on moving from IBAPA. This position is for 5 hours in IBAPA Elementary School for K-6 students to be able to receive in-person and virtual Goshute language instruction. And the plan is, I have moved into this week into discussions with the district to increase hours so that we can get funding for being able to move this effort to Wendover so that we can have Go Shoot language instruction happening within Anna Smith Elementary and within Wendover High School this school year. So I'm hoping to be able to move into that quickly. We have a lot of directors and educators, principals that are on board with this effort. And I think that I wish I could just snap my fingers and say, voila, we can do a whole entire district, including our online school with Go Shoot language instruction. But this process I have to go through a lot of paperwork and different approvals, and then funding, of course, is the bigger issue behind this. But our goal is to have Go Shoot language instruction for K through 12 within our district, hopefully by next year. We are actively looking for a Go Shoot language speaker that is approved by one of our Go Shoot tribes, at least to be able to get that endorsement from USBE so that they can get teacher pay. And then the hope is to follow in Clayton's path that he has put forth for us with the Navajo language. We'd like to do something very similar where it's open up to the state level and involve many students across the state that want to learn Go Shoot language. And so that's just where we're at right now. Dr. Foster, was there anything else that you wanted me to mention?
No, I think that really covers it all. You know, again, I think there's a consultation and cooperation and working together from the Tooele School District and the Go Shoot tribe. You know, that's the whole purpose for that communication between two agencies, you know. And thanking you, Stephanie, and thanking Charlene to push on this information.
Yeah, Charlene has been so fantastic. We've been able to communicate with her, and she responds quickly. And so I just can't thank you enough for Charlene. I know you're here somewhere, but we really have, I felt like a respectful partnership where we both have these goals within their tribe and within our district. And I think of Charlene and myself as liaisons. We're really trying to work together to make this happen.
Yeah. And I think that USBE, the licensure department, as well as the World Language Department, they're really, really excited about this. And of course, you know, Superintendent Dixon is well aware of the intentions of this. Just like to reiterate that we do have the other languages, Navajo, the Ute, and the Go Shoot now are beginning a steamroll on this. So I'd like to thank you guys for that. I got no other comments. Well, thank you again, Stephanie and Charlene. Now,
thank you.
Yeah, and now I have Penelope. Are you there somewhere from the Urban Indian Center? She wanted to give an update also. Okay, I guess maybe she skipped out. Well, that's basically that's all we have as far as announcements that I know of. Is there anybody out there that would like to make any comments or updates on your programs? Because
Can they see me? Can you hear me, Dr. Foster? I don't think I can see you guys. Oh, yep.
Oh, now we could see you.
Yeah, sorry about that. So many of you are familiar with the Urban Indian Center. We're located right across from the Bees baseball field. We do have a website where you can actually go onto our website, upload our flyers. A lot of the details have to, we try to post a lot of our events, but also we will be providing a newsletter upcoming in November. So be on the lookout for that. But we do have an event tomorrow with our Wisdom Keepers rummage sale. The Wisdom Keepers, they're looking to have a rummage sale, and all proceeds benefit their program, which is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in our west side parking lot. I will email the flyers to Dr. Foster, and he can distribute those shortly after the meeting. We do have another event. This is a suicide prevention event. It will be located at Liberty Park, and it is going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. September 25th, which is a Saturday. We will begin our walk at 9 a.m. And so COVID-19 and flu vaccinations will be available on site. Again, this is a suicide prevention event. And we'll have a lot of great speakers. We'll provide crafts for youth. And this is something that it's open to anyone who is interested in attending our event. I'll also include a Families Talking Together program for parents. It's a parent program to establish communication skills who have children 10 to 14 years old. It is a free program, and I'll include the flyer for that, but they do earn a $50 Visa gift card from me. We also have a Utah rent relief program that is going on for those who are affected by COVID-19. The flyer will be displayed shortly on our Facebook site also. So if you're not familiar with our programs, definitely get onto uicsl.org, and we update a lot of our events. If you have questions, if you'd like us to come out and visit you and visit parent programs, we do have a MOU with 6 school districts, and so I will touch base with you shortly to start establishing programs to help your districts. Again, my name is Penelope, and Ivana Holiday is our new Sacred Paths Family Programs Coordinator. She and I will be joining your meetings monthly, and so it's great to see everyone. And if you have any questions, you can definitely email us.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just have a quick announcement too, Dr. Foster.
Oh, you bet.
We are in the process of setting up our virtual Heritage Language Conference. So it is scheduled for November 12th, 2021. We will have Clayton as one of our presenters. Actually, he'll be talking about the long walk, but we have invited Dustin Jansen to be our keynote speaker. And he will be talking about the history of Native American tribes in Utah. And then we have also invited other guest speakers. We would like to have Bob McPherson come and share stories to unite, because our focus is on social studies and ELA this year, but we're trying to weave the culture and the language of the Native American tribes in Utah into that. And then we're going to contact Larry Seshpuch to see if he can do Ute storytelling. We would like to invite Stanley Nez, who recently retired, but we would like him to do Navajo Nation peacemaking. And then other presenters we'll have is Jason Reynolds. He'll be doing like Grab the Mic, Tell Your Story. And then Neil Peacock will be doing like a storytelling and learning and how to incorporate that into the classroom. Then we also have some students that will be featuring from our Monument Valley High School students, where they've published a book, and we'll have them do a student storytelling, kind of like 30-minute activity in terms of sharing their stories that they got published. And then we're doing a whole district-wide student poem contest, poetry contest, where we're going to highlight 4 poems from each school in our district and share it in a published book from our Heritage Language Center. So that's what we have going on. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it will be November 12th. Is when we get closer in October, we'll have registration online. And we do have our old heritage language conference that we did last year online. So you can go to our website and take a look on what that looked like for last year. Okay, and that's all I have.
Wow, thank you. It really sounds exciting. You know, yeah, it's great. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share before we? Oh, Eileen, you got to unmute.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have, my students have been working on 3 gardens. Way last June, we bought some indigenous seeds. We bought some Navajo corn, some squash, watermelon, all that, the seeds for these. And we planted a spiral garden at Thanksgiving Point. And it is now really producing really nice. I've got some watermelons that are this big. And you know what kind of watermelons they are? They're the yellow watermelons, our old watermelons that are yellow inside with the black seeds. And so I've got the Navajo corn over there as well. We planted beans, amaranth, different pumpkins and squash and watermelons and onions. And at the other gardens, we've got potatoes, we've got tobacco, we've got just a variety of herbs and medicines that the students planted. Anyways, these gardens are really, really doing well. I have this event that's going to take place Saturday, tomorrow, September 18th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Farm Country at Thanksgiving Point. And it says, learn about Navajo farming, crops, traditions, culture, and about indigenous contributions to food and science. And our schedule is 11 o'clock, showcase our garden, all of the different foods that are growing there, and showcase some recipes and have some little samples of recipes, and all of that. We'll be able to eat a little bit of samples of the watermelon, and I believe they're going to do a bean dip that they've made out of some of the produce that we've grown, and I think salsa and some maybe kneel down bread that we had a workshop last week where we made kneel down bread, and we actually did it underground, the old way, which was really exciting for the kids and everything. So we'll have some taste samples of those that the kids had left over. And at 12 o'clock, we'll have weaving stations. So students will demonstrate cleaning wool, carding, spinning, and weaving wool, and talk about the dyeing process from the plants that we're growing, and how we use some of these plants to dye wool fibers or basket fibers to get the colors we need to make the beautiful pieces that you see within the culture. And then at 1 o'clock, the kids are going to demonstrate Navajo sash belt dance, Navajo basket dance, some sign language, and share information. And at 2 o'clock, we're actually going to have the students and my staff are going to be able to share information about contributions of American Indians to global society. Now, whether that contribution is in language or in inventions or philosophy or ecology or medicines and food, we'll be able to cover a lot of that, because a lot of non-natives don't realize how massive our contributions are to society. And so we want to be able to share that and let our kids shine and be able to be empowered by that information. So remember, this is going to happen tomorrow at Thanksgiving Point, and I wanted to invite everyone. And I do believe that, Dr. Foster, I sent you an email, and Renee, I sent you an email with the same schedule. If you can share that with the Title VI coordinators, that would be so good.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. Yeah.
Dr. Foster?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank USBE, the World Languages Department, and yourself, and of course, Tuala County School District, and Stephanie, and the principals of Wendover and Iberville Elementary for allowing us to bring our Go Shoot language program back. So as Chairman Steele said, none of us is getting any younger. You know, once all of our elders pass, that's going to be it. So, and I said at the last council meeting, it may be that one day we might just have to go to straight Shoshone, which a majority of us are half Shoshone anyways, including myself. So thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. That's no problem. Matthew, you have a hand, your hands are up. Matthew?
Yes. Can you hear me, Dr. Foster?
Yes.
So we are trying to put together or put back together a lot of the services now that things are starting to open up again that we had implemented previously. And one of the services or programs that we wanted to bring back is we did an elementary field trip to the This Is the Place Native American Village. And Sani, who was up there, had a wonderful presentation that she did. She had consulted with various Utah tribes and asked the tribes what stories they wanted to be told and taught. And so it was a great opportunity for our elementary students to learn about how natives had shaped not only Utah culture, but about also the interactions between native peoples and the settlers who came here. She did not sugarcoat it, but she presented it in ways that elementary students were really able to understand and digest without being too graphic. But we want to do this again. So I called up the This Is the Place Park, and they said that Sani, of course, has moved on, and most of their native staff has moved on, and they're not even doing guided tours anymore. And the more I called up the Museum of Natural History up in Salt Lake, because I wanted to do a guided tour of their Native American exhibit for my junior high kids. And they said they're not doing guided tours anymore. So I keep calling, all of these places, and everybody's like, well, because of COVID, we quit doing these services, and they're saying they can't get people to take the jobs and whatnot. So I asked permission if we could bring in our own presenters to be able to present in the big teepee that they have, and they said yes. So I am looking for help putting together or getting presenters to come. Jeannie gave me some ideas about someone who can come and do a food presentation. Sani used to have them make a traditional Navajo snack, I think. But I would love to have someone be able to come up and share some of the stories of Utah history. And I'm wondering, does anybody want have that knowledge base, can share, know someone who would be wonderful, who would be able to come in regalia and share those stories and some cultural pieces or some games. So I'm putting that out there to everybody.
Well, I think they'll probably think that process through, and hopefully they'll get back to you, Matthew.
Okay.
If you have that TP, we've used Steve Todicini in the past, and he has a good history on the TPP, the piece. The significance of how that TP is erected and some of the teachings within the TP setting. So I'll send you the information. You can think about that one too.
That would be wonderful. And of course, we want to pay our presenters We have the STAD money. Let's use it. Let's value people's skills. Let's honor their offerings and provide support to them. So if anybody, just want to make sure everybody understands that we want to make sure people are compensated for their time and their expertise.
I recommend Eileen.
I recommend Eileen too. I wasn't going to say it, Eileen.
Me too.
But
You're welcome to. Oh, I am so busy with my program that it's hard for me to do anything.
It's hard, Eileen, but it's not impossible, is it? So I'm happy to receive that information. Somebody also suggested that maybe since Sani has already communicated with the tribes, that maybe we do a recording of her sharing the stories and we present of that story since it's been pre-approved. I really want to retain that piece of the tribal approval of what stories they wanted shared. I feel like that's really important. And so maybe that would be an option, but anybody who has information or anybody they know that would make a great presenter for this, please pass that information to me. And I'll pass it to the rest of you. Maybe we can get multiple schools to take their elementary children out. It would be great if we could all invest in this.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be a great idea to make a video from each tribe that we can all use for our schools. That would be awesome. So we could have that in like a library of resources that we could use.
Yeah. The only concern with that is that we would need permission from the tribes to show it every year. And for those storytellers for whom this is a livelihood, they're very reluctant to put those things on video, one. And we also have to be careful about what does get put on video because not all stories can be filmed and not all tribes want specific stories shared. So I think as long as we're careful about that, I think that would be a wonderful idea.
I know that over the past year, with COVID and everything, we have, Nebo Indian Ed has recorded a lot of things. You all are sure welcome to use our videos or, we've got some pieces that we did, such as the information about storytelling and some of that stuff. We're on YouTube and have our own channel where we upload a lot of the information. Dr. Foster, if you send that email to all the Title VI coordinators, it will take them into our Nebo Indian Ed website, which has a lot of the videos, a lot of the cultural teachings, a lot of the information that I refer my teachers in the school district. It's got like 4th grade presentations, lesson planning, things about mascots, and just a lot of different things that I use to be able to work with my families.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I'll do that.
Can you hear me? This is Wendy.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody about the Utah Division of Arts and Museums and the BYU Arts Partnership, because they have the artist site there, and you can go on and find an artist, a native artist. So, Matthew may be able to go on and find somebody that can help him with his program. They also are having a kind of a recruiting event this Monday. They have one coming up in October, I think, but I have an email on that. I could send it to you so you could send it out. But, if they know anybody, these artists can go and get recruited by them, and then the school district can pay them to come out and do any of those things out in their district. So that's a really good reference.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, well, again, I'd like to thank everybody for your attendance and your participation, and I'll do what I can with forwarding right as soon as I get off the this conference. And our next meeting is next month. That's going to be October 22nd. By that time, those people who have planned to attend the NIEA and returned, maybe you could give just a little update on what you experienced there. So other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for your attendance and your participation, and we'll see you the next time around, and everybody stay healthy. Okay, thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Foster.
Thank you, Dr. Foster.
Thank you. Let's see. How do I get out of here?
Thank you.